Senator Rennick.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. And I rise today to speak to this bill. It's pretty obvious that when it comes to unions, and unions are important, I want to add, unions are extremely important for protecting workers' rights. But what they should not be used for is protecting Labor's rivers of gold. And that is what the Labor Party is all about today. It is no longer the party of the worker. It is the party of the rorter. It's how can we use unions to exploit the Australian worker for our rivers of gold. And it doesn't matter whether they're channeling union fees into their coffers directly, or they channel union fees into their coffers via superannuation funds, or they channel union fees into their coffers via childcare centres. That's right, I said it. Come at me. Come at me. But that is what the Labor Party is all about today. They do not care about the workers. They do not care about the children. They do not care about the individual. What they want to do is maintain their command and control over the Australian workplace to make sure that they enrich themselves. And I've got to tell you, the Australian people have woken up to this. The Australian people have woken up to this. I mean, we saw it a couple of decades ago when Howard battlers have come across, and we see it all the time. More and more blue-collar workers are joining the coalition and coming over to the right because they can see through Labor. They can see through the games played by the Labor Party and their bullying tactics. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's the CFMEU on the workplace. It doesn't matter whether it's the Prime Minister on the weekend or the Education Minister, who have to use names like cooker, anti-vaxxer, climate denier. Anything that impedes or gets in the way of their rivers of gold, the Labor Party have to bully people. They have to bully people. And that's not the way to treat people. That's not respectful. It's not rational. It's not the way democratic debate should occur in this country. But no, what we see are the leaders of the Labor Party showing us their immaturity, their shallowness in how to deal with running a country. And every little step of the way, they are always trying to play games on how they can milk the system in order to enrich themselves and keep those rivers of gold flowing. And that, look, I've got to hand it to you guys. I mean, I've got to admit, I did a Masters of Finance and I failed. I didn't fail a subject. I failed an assignment. It was on superannuation. And this was about 15 years ago when I ripped into superannuation back then. And I called out my own side too. I called out John Howard on this because Costello and Howard should have got rid of super when they got in '96. But they didn't because they got into bed with CBA, who took over Colonial Mutual, NAB, who took over National Mutual, Westpac and Bankers Trust and ANZ and ING. I mean, but superannuation today now controls $3 trillion. If you control $3 trillion, you control industry, right? And it's no wonder when we had the Voice last year, we've got industry promoting the yes vote, because we've got this woke mind virus now in our corporate boardrooms. We've got it in the childcare centres, we've got it in our education centres, we've got it in our universities, and we've now got it in the corporate boardrooms.
Thank you, Senator Rennick. You'll be in continuance.
Authorised G. Rennick People First Chermside.